This is our politically incorrect advice time. Being a late bloomer is not a strategy. And I'll give you an example of some of the most famous that are late bloomers. Scottie Pippen's on the right, Dennis Rodman's on the left, Michael Jordan's in the middle. Michael Jordan got cut as a sophomore. He was a late bloomer. Dennis Rodman didn't even play on the high school team. Scottie Pippen, he didn't start playing until his sophomore or junior year in college. All those things are true statements, but it wasn't because they were late bloomers. All three of those guys grew almost a foot apiece. That's why they became great players. Jordan's skill set, yeah, he was a hard worker. He was a hard worker before, and he was a hard worker after he grew. But he still wouldn't have been a starter if he stayed at the same height. You'd have never heard the name Scottie Pippen if he didn't have a growth spurt. You'd have never heard of Dennis Rodman if he was still 5'6" when he was in college. This is rare footage. This is a high school game with those three playing it. Told you we weren't going to be politically correct tonight, didn't I? No, you know what works? Getting on the ice more. Expecting a late bloom doesn't work. If you're not a first-line player, work harder. If you want to be a first-line player and you can't crack it on the team, drop down a level, be a first-liner on that team, or stay on the team you're at and don't complain. Work harder. Late bloomers fall into growth spurt category or change of sport in focus category. In other words, I was a baseball player and a hockey player, and I gave up baseball and focused on hockey. Now, that's a late bloomer because somebody that decided to get serious about it, maybe a little bit later in other ones, they can make a big jump in it. But somebody that's been serious about the sport for 14 or 15 years or been playing since they were 3 and they're 17 now, the odds of a late blooming situation popping out of that, don't count on it. Don't confuse late bloomers with players that seized late opportunities.